Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Commander Airborne Command, Control, and Logistics Wing and VAW 120, I would like to welcome you to today's delivery ceremony for the E-2D Advanced Hawkeye. Today is a significant milestone in the Hawkeye community, and we are honored to have so many distinguished guests present today. This ceremony marks the beginning of the VAW community's transition to the E-2D Advanced Hawkeye and celebrates nearly 50 years of Hawkeye flight. Thank you so much for joining us and celebrating this special occasion. As a reminder, please ensure you silence all electronic devices, and we'd ask that military members remain covered throughout the ceremony. Would the guests please rise and remain standing for the arrival of the official party, the national anthem, and the invocation. Military guests, attend hut. It gives me great pleasure to welcome the official party, Admiral Gary Ruffhead, Chief of Naval Operations, Mr. Gary Irvin, Corporate Vice President and President of Northrop Grumman's Aerospace Systems Sector, Vice Admiral Alan Myers, Commander, Naval Air Forces, and Captain David Buttram, Commander, Airborne Command, Control, and Logistics Wing. Color Guard, parade the colors. Color Guard, retire the colors. Military guests, please stand at ease. Chaplain Quinn will now deliver the invocation.
Will those who do so please join me in prayer? Almighty and all-gracious God, though we cry out with the whole of creation for the day when wars shall cease across the face of the earth, nevertheless we recognize that peace without liberty is empty. And so we give thanks for our warriors, for the vigilant, for the courageous, for those whose love is so great that they place their own lives between those they love and those who would do harm. Today we celebrate an instrument of that vigilance, but more than that, we give thanks for the minds that conceived it, for the hands that built it, and especially for the souls that will stand their duty within it. So bless these proceedings by your presence. Lift us up in you, that all we say and do might be pleasing in your sight, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen.
Would everyone please be seated? Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Commander, Airborne Command Control and Logistics Wing, Captain David Buttram. Captain Buttram has been part of the VAW community for 25 years. He has completed operational tours with VAW 125, VAW 120, VAW 122, VAW 121, and was the commanding officer of VAW 124. He has completed sea tours as Flag Lieutenant to Commander, Carrier Group 2, and as Carrier Strike Group 6 Staff Officer, both aboard the USS John F. Kennedy. Ashore, he served most notably as a Chief of Naval Operations Hawkeye Greyhound Requirements Staff Officer for Admiral Mike Mullen and Admiral Gary Ruffhead. He now commands a wing of 2,847 people and 97 Hawkeye and Greyhound aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain David Buttram.
Thanks, Cal. Bye. Well, good morning. It is indeed a spectacular day for the Hawkeye community. Having both the CNO here and the Air Boss here, Mr. Irving, thanks for coming. Appreciate your presence here. This is indicative of the significance of this event and starting the next 30-year at least chapter in Hawkeyes with introduction of the advanced Hawkeye that you see sitting over here. Welcome as well to all other flags, north of Grumman, executives, representatives, and distinguished guests. Admiral Harvey, Admiral Hanlon, it's especially good to see you both here. I think the last time the three of us were in the same spaces was aboard the good ship USS Teddy Roosevelt, getting ready to kick off OIF. Admiral Hanlon was the CO of the ship. Admiral Harvey was the strike group commander. I was the lowly XO of the Bear Aces at the time, and getting ready to be the liaison for command and control in the Med in the northern portion of Iraq, which is where we went and fought. It was the highlight of my career, something that we trained for all of our lives and rarely get a chance to go do that, the things that training prepares us for. I must say, too, though, that I must have done something to make Admiral Harvey mad, because after we were done with that and we went into our next port visit, I was the senior XO. Somehow I got tapped to be the senior shore patrol for that port. So that was not so much the great experience of my life, but well worth the time. And we had a wonderful port visit after that was all done. But I did get intel that I was a by name request from you, Admiral Harvey. The Hawkeye community's performance then was a watershed event for E-2 Charlies and the entire community. In short, for 3 days, the tactical jets could not get weapons off the rails because targets could not be coordinated for them. In stepped the Hawkeyes from both the Mediterranean and the Persian Gulf, and all of a sudden, we started to get weapons off the rails. Saved the day. There's been many things written about that, but it was watershed. That said, as we approach the centennial of naval aviation next year, it's important to remember that the Hawkeye has held an integral role in carrier-based operations for more than 50 years. As our Navy's missions and threats have changed over this long period, the Hawkeye systems and air crews have evolved to meet new requirements, just as in OIF and now OEF, on a daily basis. When we first started flying E-2s, the mission was simply to protect the carrier and the fleet. In Vietnam, we quickly adopted the role of strike attack vectoring. The Hawkeye crew coordinated with intelligence sources and vectored F-14s for the 1985 intercept of the aircraft containing the hijackers of the cruise liner Kililaro. During the hostile and dynamic period preceding and following strikes against Libya in 1986, Hawkeyes worked with Aegis cruisers to complete 153 intercepts of Libyan Air Force aircraft. In the conflict in Kosovo, Hawkeyes began to fully engage in airborne command and control and communications, or what we call ABCCC. During Operation Iraqi Freedom, we learned to manage forward combat operations that were beyond the reach of land-based radios. From those days and over-the-horizon detection to current mission of airborne battlespace management, we remain agile in order to support our nation's interest. In the world in which we live, uncertainty surrounds us. While we persevere in a global fight against terrorist threats, unstable nation-states wish to upend the world order as we know it with both unconventional and nuclear strategies. To appropriately deter and combat these threats, our forces must continue to utilize the best technology and weaponry that our great nation can provide. Today, we are receiving our first advanced Hawkeye, the first of many, which will extend the E-2 service well into the century. The delivery of this first E-2D signifies the Navy's commitment to continued sea-based warfighting dominance in the 21st century. The advanced Hawkeye is a game changer for not only the community, but for how our forces will interact and fight in the long-term future. As a community's requirements officer, for over 3 years, I had the honor of working with many fine men and women in both government and industry who have helped make the fine aircraft production possible. I watched this aircraft rise from paper. I watched it get transitioned through CAD, and then I watched it get built piece by piece. I can tell you with great confidence that today we are receiving a weapons system which will give our military the capability it needs to keep our country secure. In closing, I would like to thank you all again for being here to commemorate this day. Going forward, the Advanced Hawkeye will not only replace the E-2C as a central node in the Carrier Strike Group, it will greatly expand our sea-based capabilities and help to preserve freedom for the United States and our allies. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Buttram. Our second speaker today is Vice Admiral Alan G. Myers. He's the commander of Naval Air Forces. He has served at sea as the commanding officer of VF-32, commanding officer of the USS Kitty Hawk, commander, Carrier Strike Group 8, and ashore as the director of the Air Warfare Division and as the director of Warfare Integration on the staff of this Chief of Naval Operations. Ladies and gentlemen, Vice Admiral Myers.
Well, thank you, Calpi. Admiral Ruffhead, Admiral Harvey, we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to celebrate this milestone with us, and also a warm welcome to Mr. Gary Irvin and all of our distinguished guests. Today is a great day for naval aviation. It actually feels a little bit like Christmas in July, especially for the Greyhawks of VAW 120, our gracious hosts for today's ceremony. We take delivery today of our first E-2D. It's the Advanced Hawkeye. For longer than I've been in the Navy, the fleet has relied on the venerable Hawkeye. It's the first to launch and the last to recover on the flight deck and has earned the reputation as the eyes and ears of the fleet. Hawkeyes have proven their worth in every mission area by providing the picture that is the foundation of situational awareness for the operational commander. That situational awareness is critical and non-negotiable in the demanding and challenging environments that the Navy operates today. And with the arrival of this next generation, we just stepped up the game as we plow into the future. The long-standing legacy of on-station eyes in the sky has been the foundation of this next generation aircraft. The mission of early airborne warning and control continues to endure. The need to provide the finest aerial surveillance, the most reliable picture available, is just what the Advanced Hawkeye delivers. And it does that along with network-enabled long-range sensors. The E-2D can detect and track targets in forming an integrated air and missile defense network while simultaneously detecting and tracking surface contacts and seamlessly flow this information throughout the air wing, the strike group, and the operational commanders. It can look out farther, it can see smaller targets, it can process more data faster than ever before. What it boils down to is a single, clear operational picture that enables better decisions from the tactical level all the way up to the operational commander and even higher. This new capability, the network-enabled long-range sensors, is what makes E-2D advanced. It expands the capabilities of the Hawkeye to all maritime missions and will make it the irreplaceable centerpiece for any Joint Force commander. Our warfighting ethos, which is embodied in the wings that we wear, will remain strong as we make the advanced Hawkeye part of the fleet. We will leverage the experience of our seasoned air crews and our proven combat capability to expand Hawkeye's role into the next generation. For 100 years, the world's best training, maintenance, and support has fueled our passion to fly and our ability to answer our nation's call to win. And we will continue that proud tradition with the E-2D. As the Air Boss, it's exciting to be here, in particular to mark this occasion, and it will be even more exciting as we bring the E-2D Advanced Hawkeye and operationalize it in the fleet. The E-2D will ensure our continued ability to fight and win. This is truly a great day for naval aviation. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Admiral Myers. Our next speaker is a Corporate Vice President and President of Northrop Grumman's Aerospace Systems Sector, Mr. Gary Irvin. Mr. Irvin joined Northrop Grumman in 2001 after 22 years with the Lockheed Martin Corporation. His initial position at Northrop Grumman Corporation was Vice President and Deputy of its Air Combat Systems business segment. Subsequently, he served as Vice President of Northrop Grumman's Western Region and President of its former Integrated Systems Sector. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gary Irvin.
Good morning. It truly is a good morning. Admiral Roughhead, Admiral Harvey, Admiral Skinner, Admiral Myers, Admiral Hanlon, Commodore Buttram, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. Commander Watkins, thank you for that kind introduction. I'd like to congratulate you on recently assuming command of VAW 120. I'm honored to be here representing the men and women of Northrop Grumman. We go to work each day with no greater priority than supporting the warfighter. The nation's safety and way of life depends upon your sacrifice. Today's delivery of the first E-2D Advanced Hawkeye to the fleet is part of our commitment to you who serve and deserve every advantage in carrying out your mission. Northrop Grumman is part of a team that has worked long and hard towards this day. I'd like to thank our tireless advocates in Congress who have seen the Advanced Hawkeye's value and worked hard to ensure its continued success. I'd also like to acknowledge our Team Hawkeye industry partners. You are over 280 suppliers in 38 states without whose dedication and expertise this great warbird could not have been built. And of course, our Navy partner has been critical to the program's success every step of the way. The E-2D will be the digital quarterback for the fleet, the linchpin around which so many crucial capabilities revolve. This aircraft will give advanced warning of enemy surface units and aircraft. It will provide area surveillance, communications relay, search and rescue coordination, and air traffic control. Above all else, the Advanced Hawkeye will greatly facilitate how the Navy manages the complex, modern battle space and emerging threats of today and tomorrow. While the Advanced Hawkeye's silhouette may look familiar, inside is a totally new aircraft. The radar systems represent a multi-generation leap in technology. The new glass tactical cockpit, upgraded navigation systems, and mission data processing are just some of the advances that will provide the air crew with the approved ability to carry out their missions. Now it's up to Commander Watkins and the 700 professionals of VAW 120 to push this aircraft to the limit and unlock its great potential. The work they do will set the course for what I am certain will be a seamless transition of the E-2D into the fleet. The E-2D is built to be relevant for decades to come. Its open architecture design will allow for rapid insertion of new technology. No less important than cutting-edge equipment is keeping the airplane flying cost-effectively. The innovative life cycle and maintenance features will help ensure the aircraft is reliable, affordable, and sustainable. The fact is, the advanced Hawkeyes have longevity built into its genes. After all, the E-2D's predecessor, the E-2A, first entered the service in 1964. And while 46 years seems long, it's just a fraction of the time the Navy's been securing the sky above the sea. In fact, the centennial of naval aviation will officially kick off next year. Northrop Grumman is proud to have been the Navy's partner in that endeavor over much of the last century. Today's delivery of this advanced Hawkeye is yet one more milestone in what is sure to be another great century for naval aviation. Now I'd like to present a short video that will give those of you not familiar with the advanced Hawkeye an idea of what this new weapon system brings to our warfighter.
In a changing world, Airborne Early Warning and Control, or AEW&C, is the foundation of force protection. The need for advanced AEW&C is driven by smaller and more maneuverable targets, proliferation of missile technologies, increasing number and type of air and surface threats, The advanced Hawkeye provides revolutionary battle management command and control capabilities for theater air missile defense. More than 80 nations currently have cruise missile capabilities. The E-2D was designed with purpose and intent. Advanced Hawkeye, transforming naval warfighting capability. The Advanced Hawkeye. Right now.
Good video. Admiral Ruffhead, Admiral Myers, and Captain Buttram, I know that after seeing that video, you're anxious to begin putting the aircraft through its paces. Would you please join me up here at the podium? Although there is no actual key for the E-2 Hawkeye, on behalf of Northrop Grumman and the entire E-2D Advanced Hawkeye team, I'd like to present you with the ceremonial key to the first E-2D to enter the U.S. Navy fleet.
Ladies and gentlemen, our final speaker is the Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Gary Ruffhead. Admiral Ruffhead is a 1973 graduate of the United States Naval Academy. He has commanded both classes of Aegis ships, the USS Barry and the USS Port Royal. As a flag officer, Admiral Ruffhead has commanded Cruiser Destroyer Group 2, the George Washington Battle Group, the U.S. Second Fleet. Admiral Ruffhead is one of only 2 officers to have commanded fleets in the Atlantic and Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, the 29th Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Gary Ruffhead.
Thanks a lot, Skipper. Appreciate it. That is a great video, by the way. Thank you for the key, and I think I'm going to make you an honorary recruiter after watching that, Gary. I think that was terrific. But for all the distinguished guests that are here, it really is a special day. I'd like to thank Mayor Frame, Mayor Council, for all that you do for our men and women in Tidewater and in your great cities. You make it possible for us to enjoy a quality of life that is absolutely extraordinary. You care for our people, and equally important, you make it possible for the young men and women who are here and who are represented throughout our ships and squadrons and submarines to be able to train in ways that are important to them and to the Navy and to the nation, because that is probably the greatest quality of life benefit that we can give our sailors, is to train them properly to do the job the nation asks of them. Thank you. Thank you. And most of all, I'd like to welcome all the young sailors and the leaders that are here today, because this is a terrific day for you. It's a great day for naval aviation as we embark on a year that will take us to the centennial of naval aviation. And we have an opportunity to celebrate 50 years of airborne early warning by introducing this incredible airplane to the fleet. And I'm going to be brief because that's the star of the show, and that's what the young folks here today want to see. Naval aviation is operating robustly and ably all over the world today. As we are here in Norfolk, 6 aircraft carriers, 4 large deck amphibious ships, and their aircraft are underway across the Navy's numbered fleets. From critical support to ongoing operations in the Middle East, where the Eisenhower Strike Group and CVW-7 recently completed almost 3,000 combat sorties and over 17,000 combat flight hours in support to U.S. and coalition forces. Participating in major multinational exercises like the biennial Rim of the Pacific exercise in Hawaii, where in addition to the 14 nations that are involved, USS Ronald Reagan and over 30 Navy and Marine aviation commands are participating. Naval aviation is on the point, in old ways and new, answering the nation's call. The fact is that we have no time to lose to get this aircraft into the fleet. The missions that E-2s conduct today as part of carrier air wings or even as part of independent operations demand the technical innovation that's represented in the E-2D. From providing maritime airborne early warning, airborne command and control, and communications relay, to long-range ground surveillance and surveillance in the littorals, the strike support over land, and even support to irregular forces like drug interdiction and other interdiction operations, the E-2C has been asked of and has performed extraordinarily. The advanced Hawkeye will take up those missions with renewed vigor and technology. It is a two-generation leap in surveillance capabilities, and it's going to be a game changer in information dominance for the United States Navy. In my time in the Pacific and the Atlantic fleets, I've witnessed the changing nature of information, how we gather it, how we process it, how we manage it, exchange it, and use it in all of our operations. We will operate from now on in an environment characterized by an ever-increasing need for information, and the E-2D will ensure carrier air wings and beyond capture, process, and disseminate that information organically well into the future. This is also an exciting time for the future of naval aviation. Today marks the third major naval aviation program milestone in the past year. I've had the privilege to roll out the first P-8 Poseidon aircraft last July, and we saw the first flight of the Navy's Joint Strike Fighter last month. And today we'll roll out the E-2D. But equally important, in April of this year, the Navy's VT-UAV Fire Scout deployed aboard a ship early, and by virtue of being there, was able to support the not insignificant interdiction of cocaine in the Caribbean. And just earlier this month, the Navy and Air Force signed a memorandum of agreement to make certain we build efficiently on a broad area maritime surveillance system that has already paid operational dividends in the Central Command area of operations. We know that the agility and the flexibility of the Navy as a force means we will be called on again and again, especially as we see less inclination or opportunities to involve ground forces in the future. Fiscal pressures are undoubtedly tight enough to affect our investment decisions, so we must explore every option to ensure that we remain true to what is most important, which is being ready, relevant, and capable, and being that force into the future. We're operating in a period of rapid change, challenge, and opportunity, and the technological hurdles that the aviation community continues to overcome are impressive by any standard. Whether one looks at the Ford-class carrier, the Joint Strike Fighter, the P-8, the E-2D, our unmanned systems, naval aviation is in the process of building a reimagined future and a reimagined fleet that we will need for tomorrow's challenges. And such an undertaking is not easy. We must explore new technologies aggressively and improve acquisition to maintain affordability. The work this team did to ensure the delivery of E-2D stayed on schedule and with steady costs over the last 3 years is indeed worthy of praise, and I thank all who were involved, Navy and industry both. Thank you very much for that. We cannot afford to overlook similar opportunities to strengthen the stability and the capability of naval aviation for the future of our Navy. So I'm very pleased to accept for the Navy the delivery of the first advanced Hawkeye today, and I, along with our sailors in the fleet, look forward to seeing many great years of service from E-2D. Congratulations and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for the benediction and departure of the official party.
Once again, please join me in prayer. And now, O God, send your servants forth in peace, confident in the knowledge that our heroes have the watch, even as you watch over them and us. Do be with them, our brothers and sisters deployed around the world. Give them peace and protection in this hour. Be with us as we return to our jobs, to our homes. Keep us mindful of the many blessings that you pour out in our lives each and every day. And above all, bless and keep this nation, and preserve her in your care, for we still pray in your holy name. Amen.
Military guests, attend hut. Ladies and gentlemen, the official party will proceed to the aircraft for a brief photo opportunity. Upon the ceremony's conclusion, we ask that the guests seated closest to the aircraft exit to the center aisle. Military guests at ease. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. Thank you for coming. We cordially invite you to join us on the other side of the hangar for a brief reception.